Yes, guys. Welcome back to another panel show, man. Hope you guys are all doing well. Make sure you guys smash up the likes on the way in. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. I was too depressed to do this last night, to be honest with you. I think we all needed time to it. Well, some of the lads actually might have wanted to vent last night, but I needed time, man. I needed time. Yeah, we were discussing last night, discussing the second leg, discussing these fixtures that we've got this month, man, because obviously they're raw. Shout out Pulpy as well, who's in the chat. Look, living life, man, over there in Lanzarote or Tenerife. Where is it? You've gone somewhere with sun, anyway. Hope you're having a good time, bro. But yeah, big up to Bevel for jumping on as always. Jay, Danny, Steve, and Joe. But I'll start with Joe, and then lads just jump in as always. Joe, yesterday, were you shocked with the way what happened? Was you surprised? Is it just more of the same? Like, what's going on, man?
I wasn't at all shocked. It was more of the same. Like I did the on the City Ramble. I did the post-match review, like so, literally 15 minutes after the game. I was trying to sort of work my way through it, and I think that what I ultimately came to conclusion-wise is just that, you know, if you compare this, and obviously this tie's not over yet, but like if you compare this defeat yesterday to, say, back in 2022. Was it when we bottled it in like the final minute and then it went out and ended up going out in extra time because we conceded like 2 goals in the last few minutes of normal time? That day I was raging and I was so like devastated, and even to some of an extent last season we went out on pens because we kind of bottled that a little bit as well. But last night I was just like this again, is it? Like, we're doing this, are we? Like, we've seen it so many times this season. I felt like torturing myself earlier tonight, and I've gone back through the highlights of all the goals we've conceded since the Sporting game, and I've gone through and found every. Let me just go through. These are just the bozo goals that we've conceded. So like in those games, right? So these are not the whole defense has had a collective stinker. These are goals where one individual has done something bad that has directly led to a goal going in, like someone doing something uncharacteristically stupid. So, Sporting, this is a bit harsh. Haaland bozo with a missed penalty at 3-2. That's bad. That's not, the worst, but whatever. Feyenoord, Gvardiol bozo for goal 1. Ederson bozo for goal 3. Liverpool, Ortega bozo for the second goal, giving away a stupid pen right at the start of the second half. Brentford, Ortega bozo goal 2. Gets a full hand to it, goes in. Arsenal, Akanji and Stones bozo for goal 1. Foden bozo goal 2. Ortega gets a full hand to it for goal 3. You can call that bozo if you want as well. Chelsea, Kusanov bozo for their goal. United, Nunes bozo for both goals. Last night, Ederson bozo goal 2 and 3. Kovacic and Rico Lewis bozo for goal 3. What manager on the planet can do anything about that? There are things about this season that are Pep Guardiola's fault, and I think we've all talked about those often enough, and we all know what those issues are. It's all in the squad planning, and that is down to Pep and the higher-ups. They've got to take their share of the blame for this season. But last night's result and this season's results that we've been seeing over the last 2 or 3 months are I don't know. I just pure, like, when your players are doing shit like this on a near weekly basis, what can you do? What is there that you can do? We can play however we want for 90 minutes, and it has absolutely no bearing on the final result. Ederson can keep us in the game for 75 minutes, and he has a 10-15 minutes like he had last night, and it doesn't matter. How he played suddenly no longer matters. This is where we are. This is what we look like now as a club, and last night it didn't hurt me. It was just frustrating and predictable, and there is some. And I saw your video that you put up last night, LB, about the like just sort of your match reaction, and I think you're right that there's just we're at a point now. I was kind of like this after the United game because that was, I think, my sort of previous worst game of the season, and to be honest, it probably still is worse than last night. But after United, I was like, we've just got to start admitting to ourselves that there are 4 or 5 players in this team that just need to fuck off. And I think now I think last night was another sort of screaming reminder that is still very much where we are. Like, there are players who just simply are not good enough for this team, and they need to. And we've got to start being a bit ruthless and start pushing them out the door. But yeah,
You know
I'll let
what's
someone
for me,
else.
Joe?
I'll let someone else go.
You know this for
I
me, Joe?
agree with what
The thing
Go
is,
on, then.
with that list, you went through all the Bozo moments. A lot of them are from experienced players. You know,
Yeah.
there's Kuznov against Chelsea. It's understandable. It's his first game. But there's players like Kovacic yesterday, like Ederson yesterday. These are players who know the ropes. Ederson's been here, 7-8 years. Kovacic is a multiple Champions League winner. You cannot make these mistakes. You know, people are blaming Rico. Kovacic hung him out to dry. Pep is to blame for some of this, but you can't legislate for all these individual errors at some point. Like, it's just disappointing to me.
Yeah, just on
The
last night,
biggest thing-
boys, Joe, everything you said there, bro, you bang on with the bozos and that, yeah. But just on Pep last night, I think Pep. I want to touch him a little bit last night because perhaps the game management could have been a little bit better. The substitutions maybe could have been definitely better. Can we talk about the substitutions, boys? Well, perhaps?
Yeah, for me, you know, we've seen it all season. Kovacic and Gundogan together on the pitch does not work. It does not work. Now, I can't see the reasoning for bringing off Kevin De Bruyne in the 82nd, 83rd minute and giving him 6-7 minutes rest on his legs. He may as well have just played the full 90. To bring off Kevin De Bruyne and put on Gundogan, who I'm also going to include at fault for that third goal, because when Ederson made that kick out, it had gone to a player in midfield. I think it was Bellingham, and he literally just jogged the ball past Gundogan, and Gundogan didn't even step in and try and make a tackle or nothing. There was just no commitment there at all. Now, I can understand if in the 60th, 70th minute, you know, you look at Kevin De Bruyne and he's limping a little bit, and you think, oh, yeah, we need to get some fresh legs on. But for the sake of 7-8 minutes, you're in control of the game to a point. Yeah, they had chances, but ultimately they didn't score them. But, you know, there was 7-8 minutes to go until it was full time. And he decides to bring off Kevin De Bruyne and put on Gundogan, who time and time again this season, those two as a pair playing together in that midfield just does not work. It doesn't work. So Steve's completely right. It was really poor game management and really poor decisions from Pep. And I absolutely adore Pep. To me, Pep's God. But he should not be excluded from any kind of criticism. He's not exempt from criticism. If he makes a mistake, we should point it out the same way as we would with any other player on the pitch. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, we're a team for a reason. You know, we win as a team, we lose as a team. But these mistakes have got to stop.
You know what, bro? I look at Pep like I look at my dad. Do you know what I'm saying? Every time the camera switches to Pep, yeah, I'm in awe, bro. Every single time, innit? But for me, KDB as well, bro. For me, yesterday, KDB showed me. I feel like I might have learned something, you know. I don't know, man. KDB from minute 1 to minute 80, whatever he was on for, yeah. I was very disappointed in KDB yesterday. Talk about like you want your big game plays to turn up. For me, he was getting carried the whole time, boys. KDB.
He looked very tired, didn't he? You know what I mean? And given the fact that he only played 15 minutes against Leyton Orient, the fact that he looked absolutely gassed after 16 minutes was not a particularly good sign.
Go on.
I was surprised he stayed on that long. I thought he should have been subbed off earlier for Marmouche, really, to get that fresh energy.
That's why I said, see if he survives February, because we're having basketball game after basketball game, and he's showing he can handle it.
I'm kind of in with KDB. I'm like, he put in a good shift in the first half, and then it was very clear after about 50-55 minutes that he was gassed, and that was and at that point for me, that's not a Kev problem. That is the bit where it is on Pep to sort of get him off, because like for me he was basically like a Madrid player. It was like playing with 10 men for the last 10 minutes of him being on the pitch, and I don't think that's any sort of like big statement on where he is as a player at the moment. I don't think it's like anything like he's obviously like only a couple of games ago he was putting through like a mint through ball for like other players. He's still a very high quality player. It's just that we're at that stage of his career where he needs to be like managed a bit more and not just like thrown in and not just used as like a default starting player for these like the highest intensity games and in the biggest games of our season. That's just not. He's not physically at the level where he can do that for a full, 75 minutes before he got subbed off. And I think that's where the problem is. And obviously, the bigger problem is as Bevo was saying, is that we're in a position where who do we bring off to replace him? We're bringing on Gundogan, who's like levels below that. Like even fresh off the bench, he's got less legs than KDB.
Well, the thing is, though, he could have put Mamouche in that position.
on, could have given Nico minutes.
Yeah.
There was
Mamouche was already on the pitch though.
But he picks the wrong one.
He's using the same bums that he's used all season. It's clear that the same players have fucked us all season, and Pep still keeps going back to these players.
Well, have you noticed in everything that Joe said? Every time that we seem to capitulate, the kind of, I suppose, the same thing, that the pattern is the fact that 9 times out of 10, Kovacic and Gundogan are both on the pitch.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's the reason for the capitulation. It doesn't work.
I don't understand how we've spent 200 million in a January transfer window and we've still got the same fucking personnel on.
We're scared to use them. I don't get it.
What's the point fucking buying them then? Don't buy them if you're not going to play them. Like leave them at the clubs if you're going to play the same. If you're going to play the same fucking team over and over again, save the money, innit?
Even McAtee. You know, you look at the options that were on the bench yesterday. I'd have taken McAtee over Gundogan. I'd have taken Nico over Gundogan, Mamouche over Gundogan.
Yeah, we've been saying that all season, but Pep never will.
As soon as I saw that,
it's stubbornness, I think, a little bit of it.
As soon as I saw that fucking fluffy head coming out after half time, man, I knew it was curtains. I knew it was done. And I tried to be positive, like, please prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. This guy, man, I've been on his ass since September. He's not good enough. He's a League One right back. But he's in our team because of all the fucking fans that think he's any good. Like everyone's saying they want to keep him. He's shit. He's absolutely shit.
Can I, as the resident Academy fanboy, can I say that I actually think he was fine until
Joe. Until that same conversations every week.
Until that third goal was obviously on him. As I've said, like that was a bozo mistake from him and Kovacic and Edison. Like there were 3 people at fault, but. Before that, he made a couple of decent tackles on Vinny Jr. By Vinny Jr. The guy came second in the Ballon d'Or, man. He's like
this is what I mean. It's half Rico's fault because he's not good enough, and it's half Pep's fault. He shouldn't have been on the pitch.
Well, yeah, but who would you put at right back?
Yeah, what's the option instead?
I would have put anyone at right back apart from Rico Lewis. I would have shifted one of the centre backs across. I'd have played Cousinov. I'd have even put Nunes there instead of Rico Lewis. On my life, I'd have played Nunes over Rico Lewis at right back.
In all fairness to him,
I thought he did all right, to be honest.
I thought he was fine.
Apart from the third goal when he should have took him out.
Yeah, correct. I agree. He was fine.
Yeah. I thought he did all right.
That ball from Kovacic should never have been played. Back to Rico. It should have. At the end of the day, it's piss poor game management. A few minutes to go, he should have smacked that into Rosette.
He's shit as well. He should never be near the pitch. Pep keeps putting this guy on as well, and he's absolutely dog shit. We've been saying it since September and October. The guy's not good enough, and he still keeps getting minutes, and he still keeps costing us games. Listen, John Stones is our centre-back, and he showed Kovacic how to play the number 6 yesterday in 45 minutes. He's put in a better performance in 45 minutes than fucking Kovacic has done all season, and he's a centre-back.
Yeah, how is that actually legit? That was our best midfield all season, and it was a centre-back playing at centre-mid. That's mad, bro. But like Kovacic,
how can you say Kovacic has had fantastic games this year? What player are you guys watching in the chat, man? It's just not true. Well, like, what games are you watching? He's crap. He's not good enough.
I'd get rid of him in the summer. I'd get rid of him
again.
In the summer.
He's got to go. Every time he comes on the pitch,
watch him against relegation teams. They're watching him against Luton and Ipswich.
I don't get it. Every time he plays, every time he comes on the pitch, we lose. It's the proof's in the pudding.
Who's it talking about now? Rico still or Kovacic?
Kovacic.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, no, Kovacic. I'm on. Kovacic is one. Then that I really, and this is what I kind of hate about the team at the moment is that when Edison was playing really well for that first sort of 60, 70 minutes, I was like, yes, what a performance by Ederson. Like stuck it everyone who loves Ortega. Like, just this is the difference. These are the levels between these keepers. And Ederson just goes and chucks it away like that. Kovacic, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was saying how mint he is and how like he's really like underrated, and it's just, it's not his fault he's being played out of position and being used in the full time as a 6. Like, he's still got a lot of quality. And then what does he do in one of our biggest games of the season? He just does a fucking like no look back heel mid-air pass to no one.
Yeah.
And it's just
What's going on there, Joe? Because you went through the list of all the errors, right? And these errors that you're going through,
There's no other excuse now. These guys must be mentally ill, man. They need to go and see a shrink.
That's what I said it today. I said
it's an
that
illness,
you might
bro.
need it.
It's an illness in the team. There's something wrong with the guys' brains in this team at the moment.
I said
where
it.
they're
I
all
said
mentally ill.
If
They
you
need to
look
see
at
a
like at the
doctor
top
badly.
level, bro, if you look at the top level elite sport, a lot of them now do have like psychiatrists and that. And when you say it, it sounds proper bad, like you try to murk them. But I'm legit saying, like, them errors that you read out before, Joe, they're very, 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 very bad errors. So, like, I think, like, is something going on? Is their confidence so bad that they're like now doing bad stuff that they didn't do previous year? It's so weird, bro.
All those that I mentioned before don't even count the like basically 90% of the other goals where it's just the collective defense just shit in the bed. Like even like those are just pure, like, one guy has done something horrific and that one thing that is stupid has led to the goal. Like, that's the only thing. And yeah, I just think because as we were saying, like, I'm fine, and it's kind of like the Kyle Walker situation for me. Like, I'm fine with watching a physical decline and just being able to say, look, this midfield, the legs have gone. This defense, like, they're all half fit and they can't play. But that's not what I'm seeing. Like Kyle Walker, I'm seeing shit decision making. I'm seeing shit basic errors, and that's the point where I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you guys won a treble 18 months ago. Like, how are we? Well, not 18 months ago. It's more like 20 months ago now, isn't it? But like, you know what I mean? Less than 2 full seasons ago, you guys were winning the treble and like at the peak of football. How are you here now? Like, how's the decline been this bad? Even 1 year ago, less than 1 year ago, this lot were winning a Premier League 4 in a row. Like, why are we, you know what I mean? Why are we here now? Like, how's the drop off been so bad? That's not all, and it's not all physical. It's mental, mate. It's mental.
The mentally shot every single one of them.
People think they're out of things to prove. You know, they got their 4 in a row. It's never been done before. They got their treble, and I think some players in that squad, they're saying, what else is there left to do? And if there's players like that, they just shouldn't be here. I was
listening to Simon Bakowski from the MEN talk earlier today, and he was basically sort of pointing out, like, again, this is a point we've mentioned before as well, but the squad has no serious competition for places anymore. Think of that treble season. Like, if you were Grealish and you didn't step up, Riyad Mahrez is taking your place. Like, if you're Haaland and you don't step up, Julian Alvarez is taking your place. Like, what's obviously Haaland's not the problem here, so it's not him that I'm talking about really. But like, if you're Gundogan in midfield and you're not playing well, you've got prime Bernardo Silva there ready to take your place. Likewise with De Bruyne and Foden. You know, at the centre backs you've got John Stones. If he's not playing well, you've got Ake to come in and take your place. Kyle Walker, you've got like, actually no, he's probably the only one who didn't really have it. But Kyle Walker, he didn't play well. Akanji goes to right back, and that's it. You don't see Kyle Walker for the rest of the season. Like, where's that gone? Like, we don't have any of that now. Like, everybody in that team.
The downgrade of the squad since the treble year. That's what it is. Because
I think the players must see certain players come on as well. Like, if the fans feel it in the stadium, the players must feel it as well. The players must see these players coming on, and then they must get all their
100%,
must drain out of them as well. Stones must think
100%.
if he's going back to centre back, and he sees Kovacic coming on, and Diaz sees that he's got to play next to Rico Lewis, they are gonna know, and the blood that they've had out of him in the whole first half where they've played well is gonna drain out the bodies.
Facts.
And they just know that they're gonna be fighting for their lives the whole second half.
Yeah,
that's why I said it. I said this
happened. That was it then. And
I said that this is facts, bro, because this is what I said about the transfer window. I said the players need the players. The players needed the transfers just as much as the club.
You play next to each other, innit?
You've got to trust,
and you can't trust these guys.
I don't think, if you're being honest, I don't think people trust Kovacic. I don't think people trust Gundogan. Rico's a weird, but I don't know whether the players trust him. But I know a lot of the fan base right now is not very trusting of him. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got a lot of inexperienced players coming in there as well. So, like, if you was to start Huzanov, would you trust him? There's just a lot of, like, not trust. And it's, this is a good point from Ivana. says you don't address the club who were complacent and even arrogant, didn't sign play. This is facts. You ask the question, why are we in this position? Because the downgrade of the squad since the treble year.
Now, but we weren't in that position last night, though, and Pep still decided to play the same old dickheads, man. Like, he had options last night. That was the first game where I looked at the squad and looked at the bench yesterday and thought, that's a fucking good team today. And we've got big options off the bench. And he didn't use one of the decent options that we had. He used none of the legs that we've got. He used none of the threats in behind that we've got. And he brought on the same people that have been getting us in the shit all season. So you've got to blame him a bit. He shouldn't be bringing Rico on. He shouldn't be bringing Kovacic on.
Let me just analyze this a little bit deeper, boys. Yeah, rather than just me shouting and screaming at Rico's shit. Let me just explain something. Let me just explain what's going on in my thinking. Yeah. So you see Akanji, right? I thought he was having a really solid game. I thought he was dealing with Vinicius Jr. And do you know why I believe that? Because Akanji is a beast. He's a physical specimen, and that was for me the reason he was handling Vinicius Jr. right for the most part. Now when Akanji came off, for me it had to be Kusanov coming on, right? Because it had to be physicality to deal with Vinicius Jr. rather than putting Rico. For me, Rico, he's got no pace and he's got no strength. And you need both of them to deal with Vinicius Jr., right? And in my opinion, yes, he made 2 great tackles after he got cooked twice. And at the end, for the final opportunity when Vinicius went through, yes, I blame it for the most part on Kovacic, but you needed a strong guy there to deal with that challenge. And you're never going to get that with Rico. So for me, with Rico, it's inevitable, boys. Yes, I know he's technically a fantastic football player. I know that. But for me, it's inevitable that you're always going to concede goals from his kind of side, because when it comes to the physical battle, that's what scores goals. That's how you concede goals, just from one-on-one situations. And people are going to get through because they're just going to outstrength him. They're going to put him on his ass, and it's going to be as simple as that, man. It's going to be every time, man. This is why for me, it had to be Kusanov that came on to deal with the physicality.
The wrong stuff.
The only problem with that is that I think that if you're bringing Kusanov on to play right back, which is a position we don't even know he can play in a high pressure game like that. But it's more simple than that. It's not as simple as that, is it? Like for Pep, like he wants everyone to know tactically exactly where to be and what to do and be spot on. And you think he's going to want that against Real Madrid more than like in the Champions League knockout more than any, and that's why we saw the 11 that we saw. Like I think the only play, like I think someone else played.
11 was all right.
The 11 was great. Like it was as good as we could have possibly asked for. I think, but even then, I think the only player who started that was signed earlier than like 2022 is Savio. Everyone else has been here for like 2 or 3 years because Pep's going with the boys that he trusts the most. And it's as Jay said, it's the fact that off the bench we just brought off all the fucking idiots that have got us into these like shit positions in the first place.
No right back on the planet last night would have anticipated Kovacic playing that pass to him. Kovacic is an experienced player. He should know that we're 2-2 with Real Madrid. Worst comes to worst is we can salvage a point. Yeah,
we had the lead, didn't we, at the time?
And, there's a few minutes left of the game, and he decides to play that pass. No right back on the planet would anticipate that pass. Worst comes to worst.
Rico was there. He was there.
He's got to wipe him out, though. If he's not going to get the ball, he's got to wipe him out. He's got to use his brain, man. If he's going to lack in physicality and speed, you all say how intelligent he is and how technically good he is, then he should be smart enough to just fucking take him out. You can't let him run through like that in the last minute of the game.
It would have been a yellow card situation, Jacob. That's it, bro. Just a yellow card situation.
Even if it's a red,
I agree.
Wipe him out.
I think for me, like, there's 2 things there. Yeah, first of all, the decision from Kovacic to play that pass is absolutely horrific. And from an experienced player, it's unacceptable. From an experienced player like Kovacic that has to be called out. At the same time, and this Rico Lewis situation, last night for the 3rd goal, very similar to the Akanji situation against Arsenal. So if you remember that, a lot of people was calling Stones out for the pass against Arsenal, right? To Akanji. And I said, okay, yes, it's not the greatest pass in the world. However, Akanji still has the time to clear the ball, and he decides to control it and try and take him on. Yesterday, similar. Kovacic puts Rico Lewis in the shit. John Stones put Akanji in the shit. what Rico Lewis should do in that situation is gone, you've put me in the shit. I'm going to take this guy out. I'm going to take him out to stop the attack. I'm going to take a booking. And then I'll walk straight up to your face and say, what the hell are you doing to me?
Exactly.
That's what Akanji should have done to John Stones last week at Arsenal. And that's what Rico Lewis should have done. Right? But Kovacic, I think the Kovacic one's a bit worse than the Stones one for me, because Kovacic is like playing this weird outside of the foot mid-air. But still, worse. Like just because someone makes a mistake, you can still rectify it. And if you're playing at City, you should realize when you're in a bad situation and you should just fucking deal with it. And the problem is, Akanji didn't deal with it last week. Rico didn't deal with it yesterday. Yeah, Ederson yesterday, I thought had a great game until he decided to fucking kick the ball to a Real Madrid player.
That's something else.
What's he doing there? You know what I mean?
Guy, right? This guy, why? He's done everything right. He's got the ball in his hand. From where I was sat directly behind him. Yeah, the whole defense cleared out, so all of the Real Madrid players were goal side of him. So all he's got to do is fucking lump it up the pitch, and he tries this mad fucking daisy cutter sideways fucking fancy pass like that with 5 minutes to go. Like, there's something got to be wrong with this guy's brain, man. Like, what are you?
This is why I'm kind of like on the Rico pylon. I'm a bit like, look, you can have whatever opinions you want about him, but the guy's a 20-year-old player who we know can, and under Pep almost certainly will.
I'm not
improve.
having the age anymore, though, John.
No, right, okay, fine. But players do develop. Okay, but players, just let me finish, because like players do develop after the age of 20. That is a fact. So he's going to get. So there is a world where Rico Lewis becomes a much better footballer than he is. Ederson, Kovacic, fucking Akanji, Stones. These players are the level they're at now. They are only getting worse or in their prime, and they're to me, them making these huge game affecting mistakes is more, I find that less forgivable than somebody who like if you're someone who's looking at Kovacic saying like, right, get him, like, fuck him off because of what he did last night and what he's done this season, cool, because he's shown as he's not getting any better basically. He is at the peak of his powers or like on the way down, fine. Rico Lewis is, whether we like it or not, and whether you think the age is a valid thing or not, he's relatively in the early stages of his career.
For like three
and and again, I've said this many times before. He came into this season with less minutes in the Premier League than James McAtee. Like, he's not had a long career in football so far.
He's also regressed though. If anything, he's got worse.
Yeah, but so's the whole team though at the same time.
The rest of the team's got worse, and this is it. Why is Rico held to this mad standard where it's like he has to be like an elite Foden level footballer at the age of 20?
I don't.
But everybody who's
he's just not good enough. That's it.
No, Joe, I fully agree with you, right? But the thing is, it's his third season. If this was his first,
he's just not good enough.
But it's not, is it? It's his third season in the way that like it was Cole Palmer's third season, but he didn't get a lot of minutes in those other two.
How many minutes has this guy played for City now? Let me have a look.
Now he's played a lot.
Let me be really harsh, all right, mate. So, bro, I respect you, everything you're saying in it, and you see how Jacob said he thinks he's a League One player. I don't think this guy's built for men's football, mate. That's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? That's my opinion. You get what I'm saying, bro? Whether he goes to League One or League Two, I just don't think this guy's...
He's lucky he gets to play in a team with possession football, because if he had to play for a team that actually had to defend week in, week out, he would be massively exposed.
But our issue is you were playing him as a right back. He's really truly not he's standing in and he's kind of deputizing in that position, but I don't really genuinely believe that he's a right back. And so we're holding him to this standard of players that have played their entire careers, and I don't think that's really fair on the kid. Yeah. Has he performed? No. Do we expect more from him? Yes, but I just think that we're going to get what we get by playing him at right back, just like we get what we get when we play Nunez at right back, or anyone else, that Akanji that plays at right back. They all make their fair share of mistakes because they're trying to play a role that they're not suited for.
Can you imagine this body in midfield, though? Is that what we're saying?
I think he's just as bad in midfield, but
I can't.
Mate, I'm sorry. Did you all watch the first month of the season? He was fucking mint. Like when City were playing really well at the start of the season, Rico was as much a part of that as everybody else.
That's why I've said I think he's a luxury player.
He is a luxury.
He is. He's more of an attacking midfielder, I think. But again, he may not be City quality at that position, and I'm okay with having that conversation. But I think that's where he typically should be playing more advanced roles.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think
If you're a
very
team, if you're a
What does
team
he
like
do in midfield though? He doesn't create goals. He doesn't score goals. He doesn't win tackles. He doesn't intercept the ball. He doesn't knock people off the ball. He doesn't do anything. He's not good enough to play.
He does,
He's
mate.
not good
He's just.
Right, Joe,
he's
he's good at
just-
one thing, right? He's good at one thing, 5-yard passes.
Passing it
Right? I'll give
sideways.
him that. He's good at 5-yard passes, but apart from that, he's just not good enough. I'm sorry.
When
He's
you're
not
in
good
possession, we'll move on from Rico after this because it's going on for ages. But like, what Rico's mint at is he is that guy who, when you're a possession team, you need overloads in the middle, and because he comes from right back into centre mid, he gives everybody an extra man to pass to at all times, and that is for a team in possession that is doing well, which we were at the start of the season. As soon as we became this shit show that's just constantly on the back foot, I will absolutely, I'm with you guys. Rico Lewis is not the guy for that, but if he was in any of our successful teams, he'd have been amazing. Like when we had Cancelo doing exactly the same thing, he looked great, and I think Rico Lewis could do that.
He's the ultimate luxury, in my opinion. He's the ultimate luxury defender. When you're playing well, you get that extra man in midfield
against Southampton and Ipswich and all.
No, I think he gets good.
And Chelsea.
I remember, was it last year or the year before he started against Arsenal when he was fantastic in that game?
He saved our season. He played against Arsenal, played against Spurs twice, played against Chelsea at the. He came on against Chelsea at the Bridge and saved the game.
Well done, Rico.
Personally, but I think it's a vulnerability in it. I could just
he is. I don't want.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you all telling me that you're comfortable with him being on the pitch against any top 10 side in the Premier League?
No.
In our current side, in the way it is, no, obviously not.
Just in general, you're comfortable with him being on. Like, I wouldn't trust this guy playing against Mbermo, any of these like Jacob Murphy, any of these average like top 10 wingers.
I would when we're playing better. When we're
good,
team. I think it's a risk worth taking.
So
when
now we're just keeping players off the facts that hopefully we'll be playing good one day, so we can just squeeze him in.
He's certainly squad rotation, isn't he? He's certainly squad rotation.
There'd be 4 or 5 players that I'd be getting rid of before Rico Lewis.
Same mate.
Exactly.
I personally think Rico got digged out a little bit personally last night. I've seen it on the time. I felt that, like, listen, he wasn't great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to gaslight, and I don't think he's going to be a regular starter for Manchester City going forward, and I desperately want us to sign a right back. But I just feel that, like, there's so many bigger problems in this squad than Rico Lewis.
I agree. But we can discuss them as well. Who do you want to get on to?
Can we please? Because we've been doing Rico for fucking 25 minutes.
Let me come to these.
There's plenty of others that we can cook.
Let me come to these chats first, boys. Let me come to these chats first. By the way, there is a live poll in the chat, guys. What do you think Rico Lewis's best position is? So if you go to the live poll chat, then you can vote on that one. Big up to LB, says, I beg Pep to play the 175 million pounds worth of players we got, says LB. Big up to you. Big up to Ayush as well. Says, be honest here, Rico is not meant physically for City, says Ayush. I think that's what one of the lads said. I think Steve maybe said it about not being physical enough. Big up to Ash, says, Rodri, KDB, Haaland, Gundo, Mahrez carried us that season. Only Haaland is still at that level, and Gvardiol. Average players are leading us now with 0 ego, says Ash. It's true, bro, to be honest with you. I big up to Miro as well. It says, I swear Joe is related to Rico. Don't defend him.
I wish. I want some of that money, me. If he's willing to do it.
Joe loves these English men, man. He loves Grealish as well. He loves all the.
No, wait. We're going to talk about Grealish later. Don't worry.
Grealish is getting. Yesterday. I'll let you have that.
Well, hey, don't be dissing Steve's brother. Don't be dissing Steve's brother.
Yeah, Steve's bro. All right, if you want to speak about Grealish, I mean, we won't speak out too long because he only played 20 minutes, but probably the best he's played in 2 years, that, isn't it?
Just shows what we're missing when he's not playing. Like, he is, like, as much as even just the stuff in our own half where he's picking up the ball and just calmly distributing it to someone else. Like, those are the things that a team that wants to have possession, like Pep and us ultimately do. You need a player like Grealish on the pitch, and you can't just have all your attacking options be pacey 50-50, playing the odds kind of wingers who'll just like run at defenders.
The problem with him now, though, Joe, in it is how, like, every time he gets a start,
it's availability.
So he's got a goal, man. He's got
a
go, and he's another one that's got a goal. That's got to be one of the first on the list to go. If you can't keep the guy fit, and when he does come in, he has one good game out of 5, and he's on all the money. He's like our 3rd highest paid player. He's got a goal, man. Like, he's another one. Like, we're not just going to sit here and slag Rico.
I sadly agree.
He's another one that's got to go, unfortunately. As impressed as I was with him, but Yeah.
What are you saying, Terry?
No, I feel bad for him because his season has been very much stop-start. As soon as he kind of gets into a little bit of a rhythm, he gets injured. And it reminds me, I think it was, I don't know if it was last season or the start of the season. It kind of all runs together at this point. But he was on a run. He had like 5 or 6 really good games in a row, and then he got hurt, and he just can't seem to stay healthy long enough to maintain his form. And if it's what I don't know, obviously, is if this is a new normal for him. If this is him becoming Stones, him becoming Ake, him becoming those players that are consistently injured, or if it's just, a little period of bad luck. If it's a period of bad luck, maybe we get rid of him. But again, I think that he has something that he does offer that is completely different than a lot of what we have on the team. And so I wouldn't necessarily get rid of him. But if we're not going to have him available consistently going forward, then I think you have to do what you have to do. That's the part that none of us are going to know. But I think, like I said, I do feel bad for him.
That is a lot worse than
Terrific.
Yeah. And you think 23, 24, I think that's what I was thinking. Like the beginning of that season, he had played well. Boom, he gets hurt. I don't know. It's just
that can't be all of it.
That can't. Yeah, there's got to be more than that.
It's not always 100% accurate, but that's just transfer match. Yeah, sometimes they miss it off. But it's another groin injury. It's another groin injury.
He's got to go, man. He's got to go.
He offers something to this team which something really unique that we don't have. And if we're getting smacked, and hit on the counter attack, he takes the sting out of the game. He keeps possession. He slows the pace of the game down, allows players to get into possession. And he just takes the sting out of the game. I feel like that's really unique in a player that we just don't have.
No, I agree, because for me, I think that's the best he's played for 2 years. The problem is, he's not fit enough and he's not consistent enough, and sometimes he's not good enough when he plays. But if he can play like that consistently, for me, it's quite simple with Grealish. He's playing for his City career, because at the moment, I think pretty much most people will say get rid of him at the end of the season.
So if he wants, think he's playing for it anymore. I think it's done. He's done.
Well, yesterday I think he was playing for it. I thought he played really well.
For 20 minutes, though, LB. Do you know what I mean? For 20 minutes in 6 months, he's not good enough.
No. But like,
but he didn't choose. But he didn't choose to get injured. He is playing for it.
I'm not blaming him for getting injured, but if you can't stay fit, then we can't freeload you.
No, I know, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, he needs to stay fit, and when he is fit, he needs to be playing like that every game. Yeah. Unless them two things both happen, which is unlikely to happen because he keeps on getting injured and he doesn't play like that all the time. That's the only way that he can stay. If he does those two things.
The only other thing as well, though, is that he has been like on the bench for what?
Exactly.
A month. Like he's been available. He's been available.
Started like 2 of the last 17 Premier League games.
What's he done to deserve a start, though? Do you know what I mean? You've got to earn a start.
Well, you can't do it. You can't do anything. You can't do anything to deserve a start if you don't get play time to do it.
He got a start against Salford City and was absolutely shit and got given a penalty just because he can't score a goal without one. Like, he's not done enough to deserve a start. So,
you know what it is, Jacob? Yeah, Pep said himself in it before when he was talking about the lineup, because to everybody the lineup was a shock in it. Nobody expected Green. Even the commentators mentioned it. But Pep said, sometimes special games require a special different kind of qualities, right? And for me, you know what? I was a bit optimistic when I seen Grealish starting because I thought, okay, you know what? I'll give him the chance in it. And for me, he's a big reason why he's having so much success in that 20 minutes, because with Grealish, he affects the whole way the team plays. It's not just a him thing. It's not just a personal thing. He affects the whole team, in my opinion, because we just spam giving him the ball and he just holds on to. Even when he does lose it, he wins a free kick. So it's like he was offering a lot. So for me, it's just a fitness thing, man. Like, he has to stay fit.
Fitness and consistency. That's what it is.
You can't base this guy yet off a 20-minute sample size yesterday when we've seen what he's given to the team for the last 12 months. He's give fuck all to the team, man. He's scored 1 goal in 12 months.
No, and that's where I agree with you. That's why I agree with you. No, but Jay, that's why I'm
saying. None of us are arguing with that. We're not saying that. I think literally everyone here thinks we should probably sell him at the end of the season.
What we're saying is, if there is a way for Grealish to stay,
you're talking like he's still got a chance of staying. Why?
Well, wait a sec. Okay, no, wait a sec. No. We talk about what could happen in the future. If he can come back from this injury and play like he did yesterday to the rest of the season without getting injured again, they're the two things that both have to happen.
And it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. But we're just saying if he wants. But we're saying he's playing for his career at City. If he wants to stay, those two things have to be checked off. He has to stay fit to the rest of the season. He has to play like he did yesterday for the rest of the season.
He's had 2 years. He's had 2 years already, man, and he's done.
Well, that's also a fair comment. It's also a fair comment. He has had 2
I
years.
agree. I actually agree with
He
you.
had 3 years.
Yeah, he's done nothing for 2 years, man. And everyone's saying like, if he can stay fit, he might do it. He might do. He has been fit for the last 2 years for long periods of time and been below average for so long, man. You cannot freeload these guys.
I think that just depends on what you like in a winger. Like, I think that having someone who can help Pep and us play the way that Pep wants us to play, which Grealish, whether he scores goals or assists or gets assists, I totally accept that as a valid criticism of him. Like, that is his goals and assists are just not good enough for a winger. It's as simple as that. But in the general play of the team, he does offer a lot. He completely changes the way that we look when he's on the pitch, and that's just like that. If you can't see that, then you just don't have eyes. Like, it's as simple as that, really. But
I think he wins free kicks, and I think he keeps possession well. I'll give him that.
Those are two pretty big things, really.
Need that.
A lot of the time, he's dictating the pace of play as well. You know, like I said before, if we're getting hit on counter after counter after counter, he just takes that sting out of the game where he'll just hold the ball, you know, make a few easy passes back, allow players to get back into their positions and restart again. And a lot of the time, that's something unique that we just don't have at any place in the team.
I think he slows things down, though, going forward as well. We say about dictating the pace if we're under the cosh defensively, but I think he slows the things down way too much when we're going forward as well. Like, we just don't look like a threat going forward with him at left wing.
Or a Savinio, you know, that guy that offers the difference in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right backs don't see Grealish lining up against them and shaking the boots and think, oh, I'm going to have a tough game today. I don't think he was. Valverde's a centre mid. Valverde's a centre mid, and he's done a decent enough job on it.
He should have got booked. That would have been in banned for the next fucking leg, I think. Probably.
That ref didn't want to book anyone, did he?
Fucking Bellingham should be out.
No, he didn't, because as soon as he got his first yellow card out, he would have had to start booking everybody. But Bellingham should have been booked. Listen, I want to move on from Grealish because he did only play 20 minutes, but I think we're all pretty much in the same camp there. Let me speak about someone who I thought was fantastic yesterday. Yeah, and maybe we can actually get some praise from Jay on this guy. Josko Gvardiol, man.
Unbelievable.
Like, honestly, yesterday,
the best player in this team, man, in this squad. He's the best player we've got.
We robbed Leipzig. Send him another 70 million.
This guy is the king of Man City, man. He's our best attacker and best defender all rolled into one.
And I'll tell you what, player of the season so far for City. By far.
By a mile.
Well, you know,
he's unbelievable.
This guy's an absolute joke. I'm running out of words to describe. You know what? Anything I say is just almost unfair to him because he's better than anything I could ever describe. He does everything for me. Do you know what I'm saying? He defends. Did you see that tackle he made yesterday?
That tackle on him.
Oh
my days, that is crazy.
This is what he does, man. And then he offers the other thing as well, bro. For me, he has to stay left back.
And this is the guy that people have been saying can't defend and shit like that, and he's only an attacker.
It's a myth. It's a myth.
He's only good at going forward.
If he don't get that right, that's a red.
Exactly.
Yeah,
timed it
100%. It's a red
It was
card.
like that Hummels one on Mbappe, wasn't it, in the World Cup? Do you remember the Hummels one where he stuck his legs through his legs and got it last ditch? It was unbelievable, man.
Hummels against Mbappe. I don't think they ever played against each other. I think Hummels retired from Germany in like 2015, but that's not the point. That's not the point.
All it is with Josko, though, yeah.
I'll find it, Danny, and tweet it.
He had a month.
Yeah.
When the fatigue got to him, that's all it was. The fatigue got to him for a month, and that was it. And he seems to have recovered a little bit now because people was hating on him. I'm like, do you not see that he's tired? I remember the ball going out yesterday for a corner, and his hands were on his knees. You get what I'm saying, bro? This guy works hard, man. He's up and down that left flank. You know what I'm saying? He's like a wing back, bro.
I think people are starting to realise now as well, that he's actually a better left back than a centre back.
I don't know how that's not been. I don't know how people haven't seen that for about a year now. That's mad. Like, it should be.
People in here were saying that he's a centre back for about 2 months at the start of this year, saying how he's not a left back and all this.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Yeah,
forget
guys,
I tell you when people were saying that when he was making mistakes. I think
he's the best left back in the world, man. He's the
make
best left back
excuses.
in the world.
he is a left back.
he's
People
making
saying he's
defensive
not good
mistakes,
enough.
so he's actually a centre back. Like that doesn't make
People
any
were saying
sense.
he's not good enough a few months ago, saying he's not good enough for Man City and all this. It's absolutely crazy, man.
You know why he has to play left back? Because of how much he offers going forward is a joke. That's why he has to be in that left back position to me.
He's got more Premier League goals combined this season than the United's from front two combined.
Yeah.
You know, he's a threat from corners as well. You know.
Yeah. He should have had. He should have had one yesterday, shouldn't he? He had one that went just over.
The touch for Haaland's goal as well, like to just have that nous about him, to not just try and take it down and swing a leg at it. The guy brings it down on his chest like that and sets it up perfectly. No, not many attacking players in world football have got the nous to do that, you know. And this guy's our left back doing shit like that.
The guy could play number 10. He could play striker.
He's unbelievable.
Well, he was a striker when he was young.
I was going to say, didn't I hear somewhere he's played like pretty much every position on the pitch?
Probably, but yeah, apparently he was a striker when he was growing up.
That doesn't surprise me.
He's just. I think what else is so good about him, what you need at nights like last night, is he's just so calm. Like he never looked like he was bothered when he was on the ball. Like when you've got someone in your team who you know you can give the ball, and this is why having him and Grealish on the same wing for 20 minutes was mint, because both of them between them, but especially Gvardiol, and he kept it up for the whole game. Just they never looked bothered when they had the ball. Like no matter what Madrid were doing around him. He just. There was one point where he had the ball. Someone played a bit of a shit pass to him, like out from the back. And he had it like in our corner of the pitch, and he just held off Bellingham for about 5 seconds, and then played it up our wing to Grealish. It was just like it meant nothing. It was just so easy.
In the game where he was in our third, and I was thinking, oh nah, but then he took the ball round Rodrigo, then dribbled past Bellingham, then brought it back to his defensive line, and then dribbled round Rodrigo again. Just to prove a point that he didn't just have to do it once, he could do it twice.
Yeah, it was top class. Tarek, we were glazing Gvardiol, bro. What were you saying about Gvardiol?
He's so nice, so silky with it, man. It's a crazy, but you know, it's just kind of disappointing that he's been our most creative player, most influential player.
It's also a red flag in it, bro.
Yeah, not because of anything against him, but it's kind of an indictment on everybody else. Where is all of our other creative players? Where is all of our other attacking players that should be doing what he's doing? I mean, great ball by Grealish to chip it over the top. You know, for him, just that kind of that body control to kind of chest it down is an amazing play. But I don't expect him to be doing that consistently. I don't think he should have to do that consistently. Yeah. I'm glad that he can. I'm glad he's on our squad, but I need to see more from everybody else.
Yeah, it's crazy how much we look to him, isn't it? Like, we look at that guy to be one of the ones now to produce a goal or an assist out of nothing. Like, he's the one that we expect to like get on the score sheet or give us something going forward, and that shouldn't necessarily be the case with the players that we've got.
Does it also contribute to us being a little less solid at the back because one of our defenders, quote unquote, one of the players that plays in our back line is so far forward, so attacking that it leaves us vulnerable. At best, it's 3 at the back, and if we get anybody else out of position, we're defending with 2. Again, I like it, but I just wonder if it kind of contributes to all the other things that we're seeing that seem to be going wrong.
I just think it comes back to the midfield like whenever we lose the ball, the midfield there's no protection, and therefore like that you're just getting cooked because there's no midfield there. And you've seen that even yesterday. I thought John Stones was fantastic, but he's still not a DM. He's still not a DM, and they still went through a few times. And I don't think this is ever going to be solved until Rodri just comes back. Sorry, I just don't.
If you weren't going to play Nico from the beginning, and I don't know his health situation, so maybe he wasn't physically able to go. But so I guess my thing is, if we're not going to play him from the start, the moment that we have to pull Akanji off and at halftime, Why not put Stones at right back and then put Nico back in the midfield?
That's what I wanted to happen. Yeah.
And I get that, you know, Stones has had his own issues, and so maybe trying to, you know, chase Vinny Jr. might have been an issue for him. I don't know what Pep was thinking, but for me, I would have rather had Nico in midfield and Stones at right back than what we ended up with Lewis and
absolutely
Stones in midfield.
The thing
Yeah,
that
I
I
think
think
it's-
Stones yesterday, which I've not seen a lot of this season, especially from Kovacic or Gundogan. When Stones was in the midfield yesterday, when he had the ball, he was pulling players into possession. So he was like, right, you come in, you back off. And that was the one thing that I noticed yesterday, which I've not seen this season, is he was trying to organise the midfield from where he was. And that was crucial yesterday.
He also had like
took it upon himself to go, right,
So
you're
good.
in the wrong position. You go out over there. You've got space there. You come in. And like just that organised bit in the middle, just that helped massively.
Also, his range of passing is just like Kovacic and Gundogan just do not have that. Like he was playing the ball short and short. He was curling it out wide to like for a winger to run onto to put something into the middle. Like he was doing the same thing going out to the left as well. Like he's just got like I don't know how two people who have played midfield their whole lives to a top level are worse at football than John Stones. Like in terms of like being able to play it out from midfield. Like it's crazy. Obviously, that shows how mid John Stones is. But
our best ball progressing midfielder cannot be a centre back. It's just embarrassing.
Exactly.
You know, if you give it to Kovacic, Gundogan, it's 6-7 touches. Stones gets it, carries it a bit, releases it.
Exactly. I'm going to glaze Stones a bit here as well because
it's better.
The difference with having him there yesterday, it makes everyone else around him feel so much more comfortable, like passing balls into tight spaces like that. Stones is the best I've seen all season at being a pivot and getting into these tight spaces where people are confident to give him the ball under pressure. When Kovacic comes on and people like that, he goes hiding behind players or he'll try and come too deep for the ball to pick it up and then dribble out. Stones picks up these perfect pockets in between the midfield and the forward three, and he's always an option to get people out of trouble. And it carries so much more confidence through the back four to the midfielders either side of him as well, because they know they can just give him the ball and he's not going to lose it. He's not going to fuck it up. And I think just the whole team in general plays so much better with a player like that in there, like Rodri, innit? He's the exact guy that you'd expect to be able to give the ball.
Bro, that was probably our best midfield performance of the season. If you're talking about midfield, until obviously it all went wrong when you've done the subs, that first hour, it was probably our best midfield of the season. Because I thought John Stones generally, up to that point, was running the show. He was running the show in that midfield. He was like you say, he was finding the pockets. Danny was saying he was progressing the ball up the pitch. He was switching it out to Foden. That pass to Foden was on every single time, and he was hitting it every single time. And as soon as he moved, we lost control of that midfield, and obviously shit happened. But I think
that's a problem for me.
You know what I'm saying? This is another guy that's got to stay fit. Man.
He's got to stay fit, bro.
Yeah.
We have the same energy for other players. He's got to have the energy for Stones as well.
That's what I find the most frustrating thing about sort of how the game ended up, is that we've got two unreal performances in Guardiola and Stones that we should be talking about and being like like pivotal performances. Even Haaland scored twice, did his job.
In my opinion, Ake was really good, and I think that is what changed a lot of what we saw. Once he had to go off,
because Stones had to go back as well.
Ake coming back for the first sort of like minutes after an injury, and that being his performance that he puts in against Real Madrid was unreal. And again, this is what we should be talking about, but instead we've got fucking we had that last 10 minutes that just completely just fucked it for us, and just like all that effectively means fuck all now, doesn't it? Like that's
exactly why I gave Edison a 0 on the player ratings, because whilst I can appreciate that you was mint, I think for the majority of the game, ultimately you've cost us the game.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Go on, bro.
No. I appreciate the fact that, because there's like kind of the tale of two halves, or maybe more than two halves, or whatever for Ederson, because as I was writing notes, watching the match for our own show, I felt that there was a point in the match where I felt like he was the man of the match. He was keeping them out, outside of the initial where he could have had a penalty, which he didn't. So, okay, great. Outside of that, he was really, really good. He made some really good saves. And then maybe the last 30 minutes, it kind of all fell apart. And I'm like, man, that is insane.
Yeah. Can I just give you something controversial, LB, bro?
Yeah,
Go on.
sure.
So obviously, I always watch the player ratings of Uni. It's one of my favorite kind of like live streams to catch up on, because we could, you're analyzing each player performances in it. So it's my favorite kind of live stream. And you see with the Bozos, I'm completely with you in it. Like Edison, he was having a 10 out of 10 and a good 9 out of 10 until he made that Bozo, and rightly so, fucking off to a 0. But you see for me as well, yeah, I went one step further, bro, and I don't know if it's just because I was so pissed off in the midst of things, but I give Stones a 0 as well. Because, bro, yeah, he made one bad Bozo for me, yeah, and it's gone under the radar from every man clearly, and he's passed it to Mbappe, and Mbappe's gone one-on-one, and Bernardo Silva's had to foul him and get away with one, and he should have got booked for it. And for me, yeah, I'm being strict with Bozos now, bro. If I see a Bozo, bro, yeah, I don't care how good you're playing or what your name is, you're getting a 0, mate.
Did it lead to a goal, though, Steve? It's got to lead to a goal, hasn't it? For it to be done.
Yeah, but it didn't though. I think it.
I do get what you mean.
Yeah, I respect the logic, but like I think if you're going to be, if it's a case of it doesn't literally lose us the game, I can't be giving out 0s for things that could have led to something.
I'm giving 0s to any player that does a Bozo error that leads directly to a goal. If it leads to a goal,
I have to lower him.
We'd have 11 zeros every week otherwise, wouldn't we?
Yeah, 100%.
It's mad. Let me do some of these chats and then we'll speak about the second leg. Big up to Miro, says KDB should be an impact sub at best, in my opinion, says Miro. Big up to you, bro. Big up to KP Masters, says this is a personal problem for Pep. He keeps holding on to the old guard in the same way he tried holding on to his marriage, because they represent stability in his life. They've never had to see a team age, says KP Masters with the 10. Big up to Ash, says, who in our current team is willing to take someone out to stop a counter, much like Lewis, all too scared to put a foot in, take a yellow.
Ronaldo, that's it.
We're too kind, man. It's the same thing with all these saying when a fullback gets booked, we just don't run at him anymore.
Yeah, do you know what else we said, Danny? Right? Do you know what the Bellingham foul? Right.
Yeah.
Why are our players not fucking surrounding the referee there? If that's like Atletico Madrid,
yeah,
or
I know
Arsenal, or Liverpool, do you know
the dark arts, man.
Everyone plays the game. As soon as Bellingham tugs him back there, everyone just like carried on what they're doing. Get up to the referee and say, "It's on a fucking yellow card."
Mate, this is why I want Fernandinho in our backroom staff, man. That guy would teach everyone the dark arts all day long. Yeah. That's what he's like. Just have a day's coaching session for dark arts. That's all I want.
Honestly, we are actually legitimately horrific at that, right? Do you remember the year that we crumbled at Madrid, right? In the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
What's his name? The guy at United, the CDM, the Brazilian. Casemiro, right? He did a 2-footed challenge on KDB in the first 5 minutes from behind and never got booked for it. And I said on the watch shot, I remember it on the watch shot, I said, he will do another foul in this game and get booked and he should be off. And later on in the game, he did another foul and he got a booking and that should have been him sent off. And honestly, our team, they need to fucking get on with it, man. Like the dark arts are weak, bro. This is European football. When I grew up watching European football, the Italians, the Spanish were the two teams in Europe, right? Who used to roll around and all our media, oh, we don't like seeing that. Yeah, that's why no one fucking wins the Champions League in this country as much as like Spain and that. Yeah.
Fact,
Do you know what I mean? You need to be. I seen someone yesterday. Oh, it was in the Argentina game, Danny. Hidalgo gets fouled. He's at the referee going like, yellow fucking card.
Exactly.
And our media in this country go, oh, we don't like that. Fuck if you don't like it. This is an elite level
pressure on the referee.
You can get Bellingham booked and off the next game. That's a benefit for us. You should be doing everything possible. Fuck the whole sportsman thing. I don't care,
his heart probably goes then for the rest of that game as well, don't he? Where he thinks that he's not in the next one.
Exactly, bro.
Obviously, if we show the yellow card, if we do that, we're going to be the ones that get booked. But you're right. Coming into the match with 5 of their players on yellows, to not be intentional, be intentional about putting those players in one-on-one positions and trying to go at them is a mistake on my part or on our part. I actually feel like that might have been what the thought was with Grealish, because we know Grealish is so good at picking up fouls and you can't take the ball off of him. So the Camavingas, the Tchouaménis, those people are diving in. Yeah, they're going to pick up a yellow. But again, you lose that when Grealish has to go off. And again, whatever. But I feel like we could have done more at trying to push that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly. Let me finish.
Go on.
Go on, Danny. What are you saying?
And it's going the other way too. We're too kind defensively, like the super chat said. We don't do tactical fouls. I remember Leighton Orient before Nico went off, he did a tactical foul as well. You know, we were talking about Italians and Spanish people. My dad's Italian. He always says this phrase to me. He says, Italian defenders, either the man goes by or the ball goes by, not both.
Yeah, like Chiellini on Saka, man, in the Euros.
Exactly.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
That
Imagine
Unreal.
none of our players would do that, innit?
Yeah. You could
No.
argue Stones could have done it to Bellingham for the third goal, really. Take the red, innit? But I know obviously the damage had been done by then. But he's put tight to him there if you want to bring him
Stones
down.
will be injured for the next leg anyway. You might as well take the red at that point. Like, just get it done.
Exactly. You just got to do it, man. You got to be smart.
I'll tell you what, boys. I'm going to just say, LB.
Yeah.
Just imagine that was Cousin in that situation. The monster. He probably would have beat Bellingham to the ball. Yeah.
He's rapid, isn't it? Yeah, I like to see Pep trust him a little bit more in these next couple of games. Victor Miro said the main problem in the midfield, right back Nico Gonzalez, Rodri when he come back will steady the ship, and Juventus right back will improve us. Says Miro. He also says Marmoush should have subbed on for KDB a lot earlier. I agree.
Yeah.
He's also said final one here. He says in Madrid we need a double pivot. Stones, Nico, very fast wingers. Doku, Savinho will probably lose, but at least we'll be competitive. And LB says Gavardio's way too talented to be a centre back. I agree.
Can we, sorry, LB. Do you know just very quickly? Obviously, a lot of the reason we bought Nico so last minute in the window, innit, was to get him into these big games where we need to win it if we want to go and progress and try and win a trophy by the end of the season. So do we not have to come back now to this Leighton Orient game and say, why the fuck are we starting this guy against Leighton Orient on a pitch like that? On a scruffy up pitch where people are going to be flying into tackles, knowing that he's going to be at risk of getting injured.
Probably because he didn't want to just throw him into his very first game against Real Madrid.
I do understand that, Richard. To throw him in from the start, his first taste of English football to be in a dirty FA Cup game like that, I thought it was suicide, man. Even just to give him 20 minutes at the end, you know, once we've already got a 2-3 goal lead, hopefully, to knock him out a bit.
It's hindsight, though, isn't it, bro? You know what I'm saying?
The thing is for me, though, Jay, is
he took the risk and it failed.
Well, he took the risk on Diaz as well. The thing for me is, like, okay, he's got a bit of a back injury, but it couldn't have been that bad. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been on the bench. That last 5 minutes, could he not have come on for that last 5 minutes?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Why is he on the bench? Yeah. If he's not fit enough to play, why is he on the bench, man?
Yeah, like I get maybe he could have done 20 minutes, maybe he could have done half an hour. But you're telling me Pep looked at him and went, "Bro, we're 2-1 up against Real Madrid. I need you to go and do a job for 5 minutes. I'm sorry if your back's hurting, but we're paying you 200 grand a week. Can you just go and run around for 5 minutes?" I'm sure he would have been okay.
Him instead of Gundo would have been the obvious choice.
That would have been the perfect sub instead of Gundo.
And I know Pep really appreciates what Gundo has brought throughout the years, but man, you can't play that sentimentality. We can't be sentimental. We gotta, not anymore. He was, but he's not anymore.
Nico was training today, so we can't be that bad, isn't it?
Exactly. This comes back to the whole like Pep like being far too loyal and like far too loyal to like players who he's brought. We said this about I said this in a recent panel show about, I think it was the Bruges game where if you look at the starting 11, it was like most of the players there were the ones who played yesterday. When it comes to these crunch games this season, and we will see it again before the end of the season, we'll have a massive game and he'll play his old guard. He'll play the old faithful, and it'll be shit because that's what it means. We're going to be playing Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo in midfield with Kevin De Bruyne. It's like this is just what Pep does when it comes to the crunch, and that's like that. And we don't like it because we're seeing what the results are this season, but it's just part of who he is and what he does. And I think it's one of his few flaws. Really,
his loyalty is his strength, but it's also his weakness. You know,
it's criticized, boys. You know, as much as we hate to do it, you know, we have to criticize him at times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't like doing it, but
nobody's above criticism, man. We can't live like that.
I've said it before. I ain't never gonna be Pep out in it. Like, unless it was bare madnesses. Like, I'm not Pep out, but come on, man. Like, sometimes I'll talk about him on Twitter, and people will give me so much hate. Like, everything he's done for us, and I'm like, yeah, but I can criticize him still. You know?
What he's done for us, no one's going to question that. But at the same hand, he has some responsibility, in my opinion, a high degree of responsibility for what we're seeing that's happening on the pitch today, let alone, you know, all the years that he's for his service. Again, I'm not Pep out and never will be. But at the same hand, he's got to be held accountable.
Can I just say as well on the
we was playing great, man. Sorry, Joe. We was playing really well. For me, in the first half, I genuinely, the first opening kind of 10, 15 minutes, I know we was conceding chances in it, but for the most part, I like the way we was playing, man. We ain't
The subs killed us. The subs killed the whole game.
Sorry to interrupt you, Joe.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say, like, in terms of the, bits that this might have been Pep's fault, it might have more been the club's fault, I don't know, but, us only bringing Nico in on deadline day is a problem. Like, if we'd have brought him in earlier in the window, he would have been up to speed. He'd have been ready for a start against Madrid, ready for a start against, like, even Newcastle at the weekend. Like, is he going to be up to speed for that? Probably not. Almost certainly not. Like, if he's even fit. Like, why did we bring this guy in who they've obviously decided eventually is the guy? That release clause was there. I've said this so many times. That release clause was there for the whole of January. Why did it get done in Feb? Like, we knew the run that we had coming up at the end of January throughout the most of Feb, coming up to the middle of March, and we chose until the point where that run had already started to bring in the guy. It's just like, what? Whose decision was that, and why the fuck did it get made? Like, and now here we are, where he's potentially his second game for the club, which it didn't even turn out to be because we didn't use him. His second game for the club against Real Madrid in the knockout tie against Champions League. Like, what led them to think that was the way to go about solving the midfield situation in obviously it doesn't solve it, because nothing can solve this midfield really, apart from like literally replacing every single one of them.
I don't know, because it's such a weird. Yeah. Every single City fan in the world, everyone knew that we needed a midfielder. So why you waited 32 days to just get a guy on a release clause? is crazy. And I don't know if
people
ever know.
3 centre backs and a striker touch the midfield.
It don't make sense, bro. It don't make sense.
And then he's not even used them either. He's not even fucking used them. So why buy him then?
Well, it's not like the release clause is well expensive, where it's like they got to the end of the window and they went, you know what, we're fucked. We're just going to have to pay the 80 million to get Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah.
50 million quid, 49 million pounds.
That's a normal City transfer.
Out there, like bargaining for 18-year-old centre backs that Pep don't even trust to play anyway. What's the we wasted fucking like 25 days doing all that for not to get a game anyway? It's
mad. Listen, let me turn our attention before we wrap up the show. Yeah, I want to turn our attention to the second leg. Obviously, with 3-2 down, we've got to go to the Bernabeu. We have to, bro. Listen, is there anybody on this panel that thinks we'll do it?
Well, there is someone, but he's in Lanzarote right now, so.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to win last night. To be fair,
To be honest,
I thought we were going to win last night. I really did.
But I think. Sorry, Tarek. I'm not confident. I feel like 3-2. It could have been a lot worse. Like we could have been going over to the Bernabeu. Like let's be real. With the exception of the 2 goals that Haaland scored and the chance where he hit the bar, apart from that, we didn't really have much more chances than that last night. They had chance after chance after chance.
Exactly. So do you not think it'll just be more of the same though? If that
even worse at the Bernabeu.
That's the sample we had last night, and we did well to stay in the game because of Ederson and people like that. And I don't think they're going to miss that many chances at the Bernabeu, are they? So
I also just ultimately don't think
like it could have been a lot.
It could have been worse.
Like it's doable.
I think it's also just the case that I think it's ultimately just the fact as well that that for me was our best back four last night, and that's not available for the next leg unless Akanji has some like miraculous recovery from this ankle thing, which I don't think he will, and unless I think if he chooses to play Stones there at right back instead, I'll be happier, but I think I'd rather see Stones.
Serious question. I know it's a bit weird. Could you not just stick Ake out there?
Right? I don't think so. Not on the right.
All you got to do is defend, right?
I just started sticking at right back, bro.
I'm concerned about the build-up.
Nunes, Rico, Huzanov, or Ake.
I'd
I'd
probably
go
go
Ake, mate.
Kuzanov.
I'd go either Kuzanov or Ake, one of
I
those
think
two.
you've got to go Kuzanov and tell him to just defend fucking Vinny Jr. one-on-one. Every time he squares him up,
just
Do we
tell him
think he's going to be the
Just tell him,
Marco
like,
on
it's
the
fucking
press?
easy.
But the problem,
They'll attack him on the press though.
Attack him all they want, mate, to their fucking detriment. Let me tell you that, yeah, because that's his bread and butter. Do you know what I'm saying? That's his bread and butter.
No, I'm saying with him when we have the ball.
Stand him out there.
if you put Ake at right back, who are you putting centre back with Stones?
Stones.
Because I want Stones. I want Stones at defensive. I want
Diaz.
Stones at defensive
Yeah.
mid based
No.
off.
Find a guy for 50 million, he can fucking play.
Yeah.
I want put both of them in there.
I want
I want
Stones
Stones and Nico in
I
midfield
want
in
Stones
front
and
of a
Nico.
back four that is Diaz. If you're gonna put if you're gonna put Ake at right back.
Play Ake right back, Diaz, Kuzanov, Gavardio, Stones.
Yeah,
Nico.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're gonna put Ake right back, then I'm putting Kusanov centre back, and then putting Stones in defensive mid because I just want some kind of some semblance
You
of
can't play
defensive
Ake
cover.
right back, man. You can't. Play
No,
I don't think you can.
Do you know what? Do you know how suicide that in? I know you're all thinking about defending and stuff like that. Imagine the goalkeeper giving Ake the ball out wide, and he's got to take it on his
his
left
wrong foot.
and come inside.
Yeah.
He's got no
Just not gonna
pace.
work.
No. This is a unique situation, Jay. What you tell him is, yeah, you say, if you've got the ball on the left, you're chilling. If the ball's on your right foot, go long. Don't fuck about with it. No
I
balls
don't
on,
think
go
he's got
long.
the pace to
No.
keep. He's not got the pace to keep up with Vinny though.
I don't like that.
No one does. No
Why
one.
not?
No
Yeah,
one
Why
keeps
not?
up with
does.
Vinny.
Yeah.
Why not Kuzanov right back?
But Kuzanov supposedly does.
Kuzanov right back, who's probably our fastest defender. Diaz and Ake in the centre. Guardiola on the left, and I'd play Nico and Stones both in the sixes. Both of them can be a pivot. That'll be sick.
I just think, mate, putting Kuzanov at right back against Vinny is just not on.
No,
Well,
I
you'll learn,
agree.
You'll learn, bro.
He's a centre back. He's 20. Stick him in the middle next to Diaz and let Diaz hold his hand.
He's played right back before, though. He's played there
Yeah.
more than Ake has.
What I think is much more likely is Stones right back, Diaz, Ake, Gvardiol, and then put Nico in front of him. Like that's going to be that's more. I imagine that's more realistic than us just chucking Kusanov in at right back or Ake at right back. Like it's going to be Stones because he has done it before to whatever level.
So then, who do you partner Nico with? Do you partner him with Kova or Bernardo?
At this point, I don't care who it is because it's going to be bad no matter what it is.
I don't want to see these guys, man, in that position no more.
But we have no one else. We have no one else.
If we've bought in a sixth, I don't want to see a double pivot because we're going to have to go there and try and.
Yeah, we have to because Nico
I'd be playing as a six and I'd be playing 2 10s or an 8 and a 10.
But Nico,
So like a 4-1-4-1.
Nico isn't.
Yeah.
But Nico isn't Rodri. That's the problem. Like the problem is that we can't just
We
chuck
need
him in and
Stones
say right.
to be Rodri then. We need Stones to be Rodri.
But we can't. But this is the other thing. Even as we were saying yesterday, how many attacks happened even with Stones in midfield? Like whoever we've got in midfield doesn't have the positional ability to stop it or the pace to stop it. And Nico's no different. I don't think. Like he might have positional awareness, yeah, but he's got no pace. So it's not like we're looking at a position where if we play one defensive mid, whether that's Stones or Nico, we're sound and we can play 2 8s. Like we're gonna have to double pivot it and then just have KDB, Foden, Savio,
Would you
Haaland, or
invert
whatever.
Stones?
It's the only way we can play out.
You could do that, Tariq. Yeah, you could do that.
You could just
Well,
invert, have
treble
Stones at right
style.
back, have him invert into midfield next to Nico, and then just play.
But the problem
Then
with that
it'd
is
be a
that
problem
the problem with that is
possession,
that you've
wouldn't
got the problem with that is that you've got whereas when we inverted with Stones last time, we had Ake who stayed back. We've already got Gvardiol who's spending half his time in the opposition penalty
Yeah.
area. So
You're
like
right.
we
You
can't.
can't
You
play
lads
Guardiola.
are going to hate this, but the only way in which we're going to get Nico as a six is if we play Rico at right back and invert him into playing into the double pivot.
I'd invert
That's the
Stones
only-
before I'd invert Stones first personally. I'd rather do that.
Nah.
I
Probably
don't.
will
I
be Kovacic.
I think it probably will be Kovacic, yeah. And I think of our options, it is the least offensive, but that shows where we are at the moment. We're in the mud.
It's probably the worst option, in my opinion.
Maybe alternatively, it could be Bernardo because I think that he's had
I'd
quite a
rather
few games
Bernardo
recently
than
where
Kovacic.
where if nothing else, he is very good at sort of coming deep and collecting the ball from the centre backs and moving forward with it. And look, Bernardo's also a bit of a fucking nothing player at the moment as well.
Is there any world in which he plays Nunes at right back?
I'd rather see Scott Carson play right back for Nunes.
I genuinely think it could happen.
I know you're saying about Ake right back. I know you're saying about Ake right back, and I know this definitely won't happen. But I'd rather play Guardiola right back than Ake. And play Ake left back. That guy's sick on both feet. So if I'm going to trust anyone to do that job, it's going to be a guy that can play with both feet in it. And I know you're going to sacrifice him going forward and things like that, but he could probably do that up the right-hand side as well. And when we was in position yesterday anyway, the two full-backs were going into midfield next to Stones as a 3 and leaving Diaz and Ake at the back on their own. So I'd trust Guardiola to do that over Ake. Ake's not good enough on the ball.
Let's be honest though, it's gonna be Nunes, isn't it? Like I think he's just gonna see because Nunes is the only one who's athletic enough to get up and down with Vinicius Junior. It's just gonna be Nunes.
I think that's what Pep will think. That he's pace to match him.
Boys, you know, for me, in many ways, lads, nothing changes, right? Because we're gonna have to go to the Bernabeu, and we're gonna have to score goals, innit? We're gonna have to do that anyway. So. For me, whether we're going in 1-0 down or fucking 0-0, like nothing changes. We need goals, right? So if we are going to go through, it's going to be through scoring multiples of goals. So in many ways, nothing changes for this second leg.
Yeah, and we're not keeping a clean sheet regardless. So it's like, does it really matter?
Basically, we need to go out there and score more than them.
Exactly.
We need to score 3 or 4 goals, yeah? You know, so...
And it can be done against their defence, man. Their defence is sneaky as fuck.
I have heard rumours, though, that Rudiger and Alaba are going to be back for the second leg.
Yeah.
I'm sure he confirmed it, man. He said Rudiger and Alaba are back, man. So that's peak.
Nah, it's game over then.
That's peak, bro. I'm not tripping, right? I'm sure he said that, innit?
No, he did say that. He said they'll be back for the second leg.
If they're back, it's done. I'm telling
I mean, it's done. I think it's done no matter what. We're not coming out the Bernabeu without conceding 3. Yeah. Like it's,
I'm like 95% sure we're gone.
Yeah. Like LB said on his reaction video yesterday, like this team, like at the start of the season or sort of mid-season, it was we have to score 3 to win games. We're in the 4-goal zone now. We have to score 4 to win, and especially
Paris, it's 4,
and especially at the Bernabeu, like we're not doing that without concede. We're not scoring that many without conceding a lot more. Like
you know, we saw it last yesterday, right? In that first half, they had loads of chances that they missed, and I just think at the Bernabeu they're just going to fly.
But in the first half, they had one big chance. We had one big chance. It was the second half. They had 5. We only had 1, and so they kind of.
Is that like a case of what goes down on the stats as a big chance because they had 3 or 4?
This is whatever the
because there was the one where they could have walked. The one where they could have walked it in, and there was the Mbappe one. Mbappe one at the end of the half that he punted over.
Vinny at the bar.
There was Vinny at the bar. Yeah, I think it could have been.
Okay, cleared one off the
3
line.
before half time.
Big save on it off Mbappe after 5 minutes. There was no.
The best thing you can say about this second leg, boys, is the pressure's well and truly off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is off. The pressure's off.
Do you know what I'm saying? So we wrote off, man. So listen, if the madness gets done, then there'll be a biblical stream. That's all I can say, innit?
Biblical stream.
Wait, we have the privilege of going into a Real Madrid away game and not being nervous at all. I never thought I would say that.
Bro, I'll be
playing Madrid. I'm not nervous.
I kind of went into that with that mood last night, though. I felt like that before.
Yeah, it almost very much worked. Yeah, very almost worked.
It's obviously when we go ahead 1-0 and then we go ahead 2-1 again. They give you that hope back, don't they? And they fucking rip your heart out again.
Yeah.
But I went into the game yesterday with no expectations, but then they brought the expectations back because I could see how well we could play in the first half.
But the players feel that as well. Like as soon as they took the lead and made it 2-1, that you could see the arses went like as soon as Madrid started going the other way. And I wasn't in the ground. I don't know if any of you lot were, and you can probably tell me. You can tell me, but like at 2-2, I can guarantee every fan in that stadium and probably every player in that stadium knew exactly what was coming. Like not long after that, like we've seen it so many times this season. Like as soon as we can see this,
it was as soon as the subs happened, Joe. Everyone around us was saying exactly the same things about the subs.
That's crazy.
As soon as everyone saw Gundogan, Kovacic, even Rico at halftime, and everybody in the crowd was saying the same thing. It was a big inhale of breath, thinking we are fucked. And you've seen it in group chats and everything in it, LB. People saying Rico on RIP and shit like that. It's with this clientele on the pitch, we're just open to capitulation because they've done it to us so many times this year.
Yeah.
And
it's becoming like
the breath out of us all.
It's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy now, though, isn't it? It's like because the players are doing it, so every single and at that point they're in a stadium with a crowd that is expecting it, and that can't be good for the players. But ultimately, they're doing it, so of course. So what else can we expect?
Yeah.
Like,
and then the players I think the players are expecting it. I think the players know that he's going to mess up or he's going to mess up. Oh, I've just messed up shit.
As well.
Yeah. Mad.
The trouble was with me against the Real Madrid game as well, the first one just gone. 2 minutes in, my expectations rose because I liked what I seen.
Yeah.
This is the pain our team does to us because they bring our expectations up and down. You know what I'm saying? It's a roller coaster, man. It's a nightmare. It hurts.
Yeah. It's grim.
I don't know why we've not all put money on on the other team every time we're in winning positions, man. We'd all be fucking rich now.
Did you not have mates put odds on
at one point?
This is what I mean. I was getting told 7-1, and I was like, I'm not doing it because we're gonna do it this time.
One of me, someone in a group chat I'm in. The moment Haaland scored his penalty, put it on Madrid, and he won a lot of money. Because
this is what I mean.
That's just
Crazy.
We'd all be rich, man, doing live streams in Dubai around a big.
Yeah, but you always think, Joe. You always think this is the game that it's going to end. We're actually going to win it.
I'd have never.
And then at the end of the game, you're like,
oh,
fuck's sake.
Well, maybe we should start putting it on to jinx it the other way.
You see these bozos that's going on here. They're what I don't see ending, man. That's the trouble, man. These bozos, bro. These bozos are killing us.
Yeah, they gotta open up betting lines for error leading to goal.
Yeah.
Someone put online last night saying Real Madrid just doing Real Madrid things. And I actually responded to it and I thought, nah, it's just City doing City things.
Yeah. This is what I don't understand. Everyone's back on fucking Jude's dick again now, aren't they? And this guy, man, the best PR in the world. Everyone will say, oh, he scored the winner. He got an open net tapping. And I barely seen him all game, man. He's another racehorse that just
last season was the worst. Like that when it came out of that two-legged tie against us, in both legs he'd done fuck all apart from dive and do little snidey tackles. And all Rio Ferdinand could talk about after that game was just how mint he is now. He's the next best thing. It makes me so angry how much like praise he gets for being so bang average every time I've seen him.
It was like crazy.
He's just legs, man. He's just legs. He's a 6'2" Nunes, man. With good PR.
That's not a bad shout.
How do you have an insult for everyone? You make me crack up.
Let me go through these chats, man, before we wrap the stream up. Big up to Miro says Pep should watch Madrid. Barca 4-0 and then a 5-2. Yeah, man, Barca, man, this year.
Just give us Barca's midfield and we'll be fine.
They battered them, didn't they? Passed them off the park. That's what
they did. Because they moved the ball quick.
Yeah, they do. They
moved the ball quick. Because I was looking at it last night. I said in the watch along, I said, we're not going to be able to out sprint these players because they're all faster than us. So we need to move the ball quickly.
Yeah.
And
that was one of the things when Pep first joined. That was one of the first things he said about like his like ultimate like his philosophy on football. When it's like, why do you need to run when the ball is the quickest thing on the pitch? Like and where's that gone? Like we're at the point now where our team needs that kind of like philosophy of playing more than ever, and it just seems to just not even be in the thinking.
Man.
We've moved ourselves.
They're so slow though, Joe. It's like in their legs they're so slow. They're not able to move the ball.
And this is the thing. We've signed players like Kovacic because it's like, oh, but he's minting transitions and he's the slowest guy on the pitch. Like, what's the
No. But at the same time though, Kovacic was meant to be a last 20-minute guy.
Agreed. Yeah. That is
not because of. I know he come on like with short time, but
not even one of them anymore. He's not even one of them.
That's what he was because obviously he was signed to replace Gundogan, but then we should have signed and we tried to sign Rice to replace Gundogan,
and Bellingham.
And what we ended up with Kovacic replacing Gundogan, who was a downgrade, and now we're a year on. He's even worse than he was last year because he's getting worse as he's aging. And that's what. And then you had Kevin De Bruyne into that. You had Bernardo Silva into that. You had in all the injuries you've got. You've had players like Ederson who don't want to be here, and people are still sat there wondering what's going on. Rocket science, man. And that's why I said before the January transfer window, we need £500 million spending on this team. And people go, "Oh, the only answer you've got is money." That's the answer. You've got to spend money to get better players.
Unfortunately, we don't have a brand new midfield sat in our academy ready to use. Like we have no choice but to spend money. Like it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's a massive misconception, though, that it's just City that spends money. If you look at it, when Klopp was at Liverpool, he spent close to €1 billion, but no one talks about that because apparently Klopp was working this Liverpool team on a shoestring budget, and apparently it's only City that spend money. It's actually wrong.
They're still spending the Coutinho money.
If you look at the stats,
Haven't you
the
heard?
stats back us up that we don't even spend the fees. So, I just want to touch on Phil Foden, LB, because I've seen some criticism on him in the chat. And I just want to say, bro, listen, he come on in a position which we all know he doesn't excel in, and I thought he was fantastic. You know what I'm saying, bro? The way he was moving inside, he was coming inside. They couldn't touch him, and it wasn't just the occasion on penalty either. Bro. He made a nice pass to the left winger.
Was it a penalty or was it a free kick, though? I mean, I'll take the penalty all day, but
if it's on the line,
they said it's on the line. Yeah.
I think it was a 10 based off the rule.
Touch on him and give you some love, bro. I thought he was good.
Yeah, I thought he played all right, man. I thought he played all right.
I think again where he come in and had that banging shot, didn't he? That's probably what I see him doing, getting into those central areas and getting his shots away, man, rather than hugging
Especially
the
in
top.
these
I think, to be honest with you, I think that Arsenal game sort of like forgot. Like he was actually playing really well in January, right? He's getting on the score sheet and that. And then he had that Arsenal game. And then everyone's just seemingly just jumped back on him again and said, oh, he's trash. It's like, hang on a minute. No, there's one bad game. And I thought he played all right, man. And that little bit of footwork, mate, to get round. I tell you what, though, lads, I don't know what I gassed this guy up, mate. I cannot fucking wait for Echeverri to get in this side, bro. Because the energy that he will bring. Danny, back me up. Steve,
I need to hear about this guy.
He's fucking mint.
But as good as he is, do we genuinely think Pep is going to play him?
No, I don't. But when you do see him, he will be mint, bro. He would have done, honestly, mate. He brings so much energy to the side. He does not stop sprinting. Isn't it, Danny? Danny, hype this guy up, man.
Yeah.
Is that similar to Julian Alvarez?
He's coming to this tournament needing to prove a point because he's had an on and off season in Argentina, and he's done that. He's been the best player in the tournament. He's looking to make stuff happen. Even a couple of days ago when he wasn't that good, he created a big chance that they bozoed. It's just so good to see a player just press and run and just have energy.
You know what's going to happen, don't you? You know what's going to happen, don't you?
Well, we'll raid River Plate. We'll go and get that Superba Bray or whatever he's called. Just to rile them up a little bit more. Let's just go and raid them.
I swear to God, I'm not even joking. I'd sign 4 or 5 of those players from that Argentina team.
Oh yeah,
fucking unbelievable.
I told you in the chat before the first friendly. This front four is incredible, and all of them have
man. Carrizio, baller, Subiabre, baller. Roberto's now got an ACL. Baller.
Mastantuono, even though he's not been that good. But
he's actually had his best game as a 6 against Brazil, but he's a baller. They're all ballers, man. Like that Delgado, Acuna.
Yeah.
Echeverri off the left as well. I think.
Echeverri's going to be playing right back for us by fucking November, though, don't you?
I'm just telling you, man. Like,
right back.
This team is so slow and dead, that like he is literally the vaccine, man. He's the vaccine. Yeah, he gets goals, he creates, he does not stop running, and hopefully Pep actually plays him because he joins in 6 days, something like that.
Yeah.
Is he going to be here in time for Real Madrid's second leg?
No.
Get him in.
That's the last game is this Sunday, is it, Danny? I think it's this Sunday.
Paraguay, and they play tomorrow against Brazil.
Yeah, they do. They play Friday, innit? I'm sure it's the 40th. Oh, it might be tomorrow. All right, well, anyway, it's 1 o'clock. Oh, yeah. It's Thursday night, innit? 1 o'clock.
Sunday.
Yeah, they play Brazil tomorrow night, man, 1 a.m. But yeah, he's going to be class. I also hope Pep actually plays him, man. But he can't play against Real Madrid, innit? But he can play against the Premier League. He can play in the Premier League, I think. Danny,
word I use to describe him, though, bro. I use the word maverick.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
He's a guy that makes things happen. He's a guy that takes initiative, and he wants to take a chance. That's why he might succeed in any league, regardless of his physicality, because he doesn't give a shit about any of this stuff. He just take the ball and he'll take initiative. This is why I think he could be a bit of a.
What game do you think we see him?
Plymouth at home.
Yeah, Plymouth.
Gotta see him.
Start him or what?
I'd start him against Plymouth 100%.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, man. Yeah, I know I gassed this guy up, bro, but this tournament, he has been absolutely unbelievable. Scoring goals, creating, taking players on.
Every like little complaint I had about him at senior level, he's just sort of brushed over it. The only thing is his conditioning. He can't play 90 minutes. But he's not.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do hear that because he can't. But because he does never stop sprinting in it. He's always pressing. He's always sprinting around.
That's right, yeah.
If Pep gets them Barcelona injections in him, man, he'll be doing 90 in no time. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So,
Ed, over McAtee, absolutely.
Yeah,
over
he's better than McAtee. He's better than McAtee. He's a different type of player than McAtee.
Well, that's not hard, is it?
Different position as well. Like I'd play him off the left.
I wouldn't. I'd stick him straight in the centre. Straight on the centre. He can go left, he can go right, and then just say twist players up, run at players, win fouls, shoot, put Haaland through. I've said, in my opinion, he's either going to be the best player in the league or he won't make it at all. I don't see it in between. I just don't. I just think he's going to tear it up.
You want me to get the guy instructions, because it's the guy's game. He knows how to play the game, bro. He gets on the ball. You know what I mean? He plays the game his way.
He's a bit of a rake, though, isn't it? Is he not like dead skinny, like a bit of a streak of piss? But
no, it's not skinny.
He's not Diaz, though.
Brahim Diaz is.
Yeah.
That sort of build.
I'll take that.
Well, yeah, let's see. Anyway, let me finish off with these super chats, man. Built to Pie says, no matter how much you achieve, you are immune to bozo criticism when you do a bozo. Pep multiple times throughout the years should be criticised. Yeah, 100%, man. Like, I don't get this. Like, you cannot say anything bad. Like, what? Champions League final against Porto?
Chelsea Champions League final, yeah.
Well, I was meant to sit there and go, yeah, sick decision not to play Rodri, mate. Yeah, like, what are we doing here? It's about not being over the top and like a dickhead about it, but at the same time, it's not North Korea, innit? You know what I'm saying? Built to Tom Perez, bro, says LB, you lot made a few mistakes, but honestly, I still think that's the best I've seen City this season.
That's not a compliment at all.
He's right. He might be right, but it's also not a compliment because we played trash all season. So, yeah, listen, we'll see, bro, but I think you'll have too much, bro. But big up to you, man. Big up to Miro again. Big up to Donald's Miro. Says, I feel like Doku can cook Madrid if he's 100%.
He should have come on as well if he was fit yesterday.
Yeah, we'll have to see who he goes for on the wingers. He also says we need a solid defensive performance at Madrid and then put the shit emoji. LB put Newcastle game is more important than the Madrid one. I disagree.
Nah.
I'll tell you why.
I agree.
It's a top five. It's a top five race. We can lose against Newcastle and still get top five.
Yeah, but
but we got a better chance if we win
against Newcastle. Though, then we've got those next games as well. It could turn into
get Liverpool after that, right?
The thing is, if you lose against Newcastle, you've got 13 other matches to get top five.
If we beat Madrid, we've got 8. Like, is it 9 more games until the final? Like, we're not going to do it. Yeah. Like, we're fucked.
I'd take the.
I'd rather just try my best against Madrid rather than
financially. It's better for us to get through this as well. And why would you be looking to fight for a top 5 when to get into the Champions League when you're in the Champions League? Like,
because you need to be in it next season. You need to be like be
there next year. I get that, but when you've got the opportunity to potentially get through to the knockout stages, last 16, why would you not prioritise that? Because financially, it's better for the club.
I think it's unrealistic for us to believe that we can win it, and that far outweighs the want for us to be in the competition.
Yeah, but no, I agree that we're probably not going to win it. But if we lose against,
so why stay in it then? Why?
Because you never know what could happen. If you get through, then you've knocked Real Madrid out.
I already don't like the fact that we're playing 2 extra games in this run that we've got at the moment.
I
games
agree.
That we're going to get panned in, games that Akanji's going to get injured in, like he did last night, and another couple of injuries. If Stones goes down, we're back in the shit again, aren't we?
Yeah,
we can manage to wing it to the quarterfinals or something. Rodri will be back for that. Semi-final, he could be back. I just think, like, look, you lose against Newcastle, and what? You've got 13 more matches to get in the top 5.
We've said this after like the last 4 Champions League games, though, and we've been fucking battered in every single one. Like, where are we getting this hope from? We're not going to win it.
We're just shit.
I want to win every match.
I'd rather just give it my best.
I think as well, LB, as Jay just said there, like you look at the state of the fixtures we've got. Like we were saying after the Arsenal game, we don't see where our next Premier League win's coming from until fucking April. Like we need to if we're gonna win any of these games, like we need to be prioritizing our home games in these, and that has to be Newcastle.
You know what it is, Joe? It's the fact that it's Newcastle. They're like our direct competition. You get Newcastle out of your hair for a couple of weeks if you beat them.
It's like the proverbial 6-pointer.
It is a 6-pointer. I just think that for me, you got 13 more matches.
we watched. I don't know if we watched, but we know that Liverpool dropped points today. Is there any chance that they're kind of coming to the place where, okay, they're running out of steam, and we just need to pick it up from here? Maybe we can't win it, but again, we know Arsenal doesn't have a striker in Havertz. To me, I mean, you got to at least make a run at it.
Liverpool got this wrapped up. It's done.
I did a bit of thing on the stream last night as well. I found this mad. So I did a bit of thing on the stream last night, and I was looking at the points tally that we got for the last 3-4 years, and based on the running that we've got between now and the end of the season, we're roughly going to be about 23, 24 points behind each season, roughly. So when you work that out, that's 7 games roughly more this season that we've lost than we have for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, we need to win as many as we can. And I think that winning, getting top 5 in the Premier League, is more attainable than winning the Champions League. Therefore, I want to put more effort into winning those Premier League games. 100%. Obviously, it doesn't matter what we think, because ultimately Pep's going to put our best 11 out next week, or what he believes our best 11 is next week. He's going to go all in for the Madrid game. But if it was me and I was picking between certain players like Foden's or De Bruyne's or whatever to play in one game or the other, I'm picking Newcastle all day long, because that's a winnable game with a good potential outcome. And the Champions League, if we beat Madrid and go through, mint, but we're going to come up against fucking someone else who batter us instead. If we just beat Madrid and get Barca in the next round, it's all been for nothing, because we're going to get spanked. It's
Atletico Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Both will spat. Yeah, they'll both batter us as well. We're just shit.
We're not built for an Atletico 2-legged game right now. No way.
We're not built for nothing.
They will batter us all across the park. We are a match made for them in heaven right now.
So we're not built for knockout football. So that list I read out before of 12 bozo things. It's a miracle we're still in the Champions League race, because we have the full season to back it up. If we do bozo things in the Champions League, we're out.
Atletico are going to smack these little kids apart if we.
Let me ask you a question. I can give you now a win and a loss against Newcastle and Real Madrid. You get to pick which one we win, which one we lose.
Newcastle's the win.
Newcastle win.
Newcastle.
We could beat Madrid and still go out. We could win. We could win and still go out on penalties.
What are you going to take?
No, Joe. You win against Madrid, you go through the next round. That's what I'm saying.
Newcastle all day long.
Newcastle.
I'm going to be honest though. Even if we play
Real Madrid, man. I'm picking Real Madrid.
No way.
We sacrificed our team against Real Madrid and put out our strongest team against Newcastle, I still don't see us beating Newcastle. I'm going to be honest. I don't.
What's the point?
Even if we sacrificed it and played all the academy players and then put out a strong 11 against Newcastle, we ain't winning that.
Because Jay, all our players will be fit for the next round.
LB, do you think we can win the Champions League?
Yeah, we can win it, man.
No, don't ask me that question. Who we played the last 16? If we get through Real Madrid, who's our next game?
Atletico are going to fucking bully us off the
Leverkusen.
That's the L mentality that Jacob.
I think we could potentially beat those.
See, I've seen it all season. We can't win these. We can be 2-0 up in these games and we still can't win them. So what makes us think that we're going to win it over 2 legs?
A man can dream, yeah. A man can dream, innit?
But this is the dreaming that gets us hurt, man. I was dreaming last night and they hurt me again.
Let me get myself hurt then, innit? I'm prepared for it, man.
Right.
Prepared for it.
Yeah.
But you see why this top 5 is important, though, LB, yo. So
this
obviously people are talking about Newcastle because Newcastle's so big, because the top 5 is massive. Because I'm thinking about the signings in the summer, bro.
Exactly. Who wants to come to us if we've got no Champions League?
Champions League's
what would suck? If we did, let's say we did get past Real and we got Atleti, and then we see Julian Alvarez running through scoring goals against us. That would just be the ultimate dagger in the heart, man. Oh my god, that would hurt so bad.
Mate, knock us out, mate. And knock us out. I don't want that.
Alvarez is going ham as well, innit, boys?
Yeah.
Going ham, you know.
All right, let me finish off these supers before we wrap up, boys. Big up, man. Hour 40 done here. Big up to Miro, says, we need a solid defensive performance at Madrid. I read that one out before. Big up to you, bro. Big up to LB, says, Newcastle get... I read that one out as well. And big up to Luke, says, Nunes is Bambi on ice, mate, says Luke. But so Massam says we are losing both the Newcastle and Madrid lad. I actually think that's true. I think we'll get beaten.
Yeah, genuinely, yeah.
So I know you
Mate,
said that for no reason, but
that
I genuinely think
Newcastle,
we're gonna get beaten both.
that Newcastle midfield is going to do naughty things.
They
to
are
us. It's going to be.
Isak is scary too.
They are gonna fucking.
This is
put
why
the
Nico
numbers
Gonzalez
on us.
must play against Newcastle, man.
Facts, mate.
Yeah, you know, he
Have
has.
to play.
He has.
Imagine Joe Linton and Bernardo going into a 50-50, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nico Gonzalez season.
At this
No,
point,
no,
we may
ain't a
as well just stick Lily
round
Phillips in goal because it's going to be the same kind of damage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you heard about that Brennan Johnson? He's with he's dating.
Is that actually true? I got told that. I didn't know if it was
That Lily
legit,
Phillips.
man.
That
Seems
Lily
legit.
Phillips.
Seems legit.
Yeah, that's kind of mad. But listen, boys, we'll leave it there, man. I know you've probably got better stuff to be doing. Big up to you lads for jumping on the panel show tonight, man. Big up to Jay, Joe, Tarek, Danny, Steve, and Bevel for jumping on. Big up to you guys in the chat as well, man. Make sure you guys are smashing up the likes, man. Come on, man. I've had some serious numbers in here tonight. Let's get these likes away. I need one person to hit the like for 300 likes. Please hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. I think Gunner's live, so I'll redirect it to Lee Gunner, see what he's having an emergency meeting about. Sam LB raid in the chat. And I'll be live tomorrow. Should have a midday show. And then, yeah, we've got some other shows, man. So, yeah, big up to you guys. Special likes. We'll catch you in the next one.
Big up everyone, man.
They let boys.
It's just good to finally get it, sorted out in the league.
He called you a nonce up there today. Reaction to that?
Well, at the end of the day, Bo, look, he's 21 years old, yeah? And if I was to actually crack on with the kid, I could do, Bo. You get me? Because he's of age, Bo, so there's no nonce about it.
Can you